Hey there, have you ever wanted to create and sell your very own journal or planner online? If so, you're in luck. Today's episode is for you. I'm going to teach you how to create and sell a planner online like a pro. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. I'm your host, Polly Payne. I'm the founder of Horacio Printing, which I started back in 2014 when I created my very first dream planner. I've since then sold over 50,000 dream planners around the world and expanded my product collection into journals, stationery, notepads, all things paper. I'm a total paper snob. And what I'm really known for in my brand is creating luxury Christian products that are high quality, really good paper, really beautiful materials, really awesome packaging, and really intentional design. And so I've had over the years, a lot of people ask me, how did you do it? How did you do it? And so that's why I created Print School, which is my signature program to help people basically learn from A to Z how to print their thing. I give them my printer, I give them all my templates, I give them all the training, I give them the step-by-step guide. And then I also have Launch School, which is a program to help them launch it and sell it into the world. But one of the other things that I love doing is this podcast, where I'm able to actually just share a lot of information here online, especially for those that are just curious, you're just trying to figure it out. So today I'm going to give you a bird's eye view of how to create and really sell your own journal or planner on Shopify. Shopify is the platform that I use to sell all my products. I love Shopify. I just did an entire episode on where should you sell your products. I went through Etsy, WooCommerce, Squarespace, all the things. You can actually go watch that episode next if you want. It's episode 229, and it's on this channel. But let's talk about how to do it. Okay, so if you're taking notes today, grab a notebook, grab a piece of paper. We're going to go through the 5 steps to create and print your product. All right, ready? Here we go. Step 1. Step 1 is ideation. I could go ahead and tell you basically all the pieces of the puzzle for you to get it done. But what's going to carry you from the start line to the finish line of actually getting it done and doing it well is really good ideation. Ideation is so underrated. Often we don't know what it means. We don't know how to do it. We've never done it before. So we skip it and we move on to the next step of design, which, spoiler alert, one of the next steps is design. But ideation is critical because you need to create something unique. Hear that again. You need to create something unique. So this is what I recommend doing in ideation. I like to start off with a clarity statement, which is made up of what am I making? Who is it for and how does it help them? If you just want to create blank lined journals and sell them on Amazon and print on demand to make 6 figures a month, spoiler alert, that's a lot harder than people make it sound on the internet. Like, oh, just make it on Canva and sell it on Amazon. Yeah, if that was something available for every single person to do, every single person would do it. Problem is, the Canva design is not fantastic. Also, you have to still get traction to your Amazon listing, and there's a lot of people out there. So my recommendation is create something unique, create something from your heart, and create it with the person in mind. Who are you creating it for? So ideation is a really special time where you sit down and think about what you want to create. You get clear about it. Who am I making this for? What is it? And how does it help them? At the end of ideation, you basically want to have a prototype made, which is super not perfect at all. This is just a messy sketch of your product, of the page by page of what the main pages are of your product, the main words of your product are, and the flow. So the first step of ideation is getting that prototype done. The second step of ideation is making sure you have your branding set. It's really important that your product has a beautiful flow, has a beautiful brand. And if you already have a brand, maybe you have a large YouTube channel already, or you already have a podcast, or you already have a coaching business, or you already have something where you have branding. Maybe you are an influencer and you already have a personal brand. You've already got fonts and colors and a logo and all that jazz. Great. Then you're pretty much good to go. You've got most of what you need. There are specific branding pieces you need for a print product. Typically, you have more than one font in a print product, and more than you have a heading, a subheading, body font. So you have to choose those fonts on this second step. So the first step is ideation, where you really just dump out everything from your head onto paper. You don't skip this. You want to create something unique. You want to make sure you're diving into who you're making this for and how is it going to help them. That's going to help you down the road when you're trying to sell the thing, because you'll know who are you marketing to? How does this help them? It's going to help your messaging down the road. Okay, so putting your heart into it in ideation is key. Number 2 is branding. Picking out your colors, your overall mood board, vibes, your fonts, and what else is there? Colors, fonts, overall vibe, and your logo. So that's really important. Also, what are you going to name the thing? What is this? What is it called? Making sure no one else has that name already. So that's number 2 is branding. Number 3 is design. This is where you go from a prototype to print-ready files. And it's really important that when you're creating something, you're creating it with the proper margins, with the proper indentions, with proper color tones, which I highly recommend just doing black and white to save the most amount of money. All my products are black and white inside because I love minimalist design, but also you want to make sure that you're saving some money in the process. So in that design process, you take your prototype and you turn it into print-ready files, which at the end of the day becomes a PDF. Now, the printer typically wants that PDF formatted and exported in a certain way. Every printer is a little bit different, but it usually will have bleed and cut marks on it. And if you work with a designer, they will typically know what to do if they are a print designer. Now, I'm just going to do a little caveat here. When it comes to my print school students, I take them all the way through ideation from front to end, all the way through prototyping, page by page. I have fill in the blank templates to help them get that all sorted. Then they get a quote from the printer. I have a little section on branding to help them with their branding. And then we have an entire design module where I teach them how to design. And they can either choose to use one of my preferred partners to hire, or they can learn how to design themselves. Actually paid a designer to come into print school and teach design step by step. So if you want to become a print designer, print school also teaches you how to be a designer, which is great. It's a great skill to learn. I personally love outsourcing because I don't have time for it. But if you want to learn how to design yourself, print school is a great option for you there. So step 3 is design. Once you have those print ready files ready, your next step is probably my favorite step ever, other than maybe deciding you're going to do it and starting ideation. Ideation's so fun. But the 4th step is so fun, and that is ordering your sample. Woohoo! And that's where you send all those files to the printer, and the printer sends back a beautiful sample. And from here, you get to check it out. Do I love it? Is there anything I want to change? You can actually start using that sample to gather pre-orders, which is something I teach in print school as well, if people want to raise the funds for their print using pre-order. But what's really important with a printer is high quality. You want high quality. If you really want low quality, that is your prerogative. But for me, I'm a paper snob. I want high quality. So you need the right printer that has the right materials, but you also want the right price. I've had many students who have looked at printers in the US, looked at printers, print on demand, and it just doesn't cut it when it comes to quality and price. So you really want the best printer for quality and price. And I'll talk to you a little more about the mistakes we can make with printers after I go through step 5. So the 5th step, once you have your sample, you will go ahead and place your mass order if you're planning on ordering upfront. And you're going to start setting up your Shopify website. You can actually use your sample to set it up. You can take photos and put those on your website. I love Shopify. I talked a lot about Shopify in episode 229, which I mentioned earlier in this episode. And it's amazing. It has everything you need. Inventory management. You have your website hosted on that. You process the orders through that. You can process the shipping labels through Shopify. You can even do email marketing. I don't do email marketing through Shopify except for like the order confirmation email, but you can use Shopify for email marketing if you want. And every single plugin can pop into Shopify. It's just, for me, it is the gold standard of e-commerce. So that's what I recommend. I don't recommend Etsy. I don't really recommend utilizing Amazon that much unless you really want to. Because they take a big fee, which I talked about in episode 229. Again, you can go back and watch that if you want to look at other things. But I love Shopify because it is all in one. It is all in one. You can even buy your website domain on Shopify. I started off my business in 2014 using Squarespace because the designers I was working with were really proficient in Squarespace. And so I didn't know any better. And back then, Squarespace wasn't what it is today. Now Squarespace is amazing. And I've helped other people build Squarespace websites. I think they're fantastic. But there's just nothing that compares to the analytics you can get with Shopify. Even just with sales tax and all the things that come along with running a business, Shopify is just set up to help you. There's so many tutorials, there's so many things to help you and lessons and guides, and it's just awesome. So I highly recommend Shopify, and I actually teach how to set up a Shopify website and everything that comes with setting up that business in Launch School, which is a bonus for all of my Print School students. It's a $2,000 course that comes free when you sign up for Print School. So that's really how to do it. Now, once you have your sample, you can choose your own launch adventure. You could launch a pre-order campaign and start getting money before you place your mass order, or you can place your mass order and do a standard e-commerce launch. Does that make sense? So you get to choose once you have that sample, do I want to market with this and garner the pre-orders to pay for the 300 units, 500 units, 1,000 units I want to buy? Or do I just want to go ahead and pay for these, bring them into the warehouse or bring them into my house or wherever you're going to ship from, and sell them on my website? For me, I do the latter. I pre-order my planners, which I've already pre-ordered our 2025 planners. They're actually en route to our warehouse now. And so I've already paid for that upfront with last year's profit. And I'm going to be launching those at the end of September. Yay! So exciting. So exciting. So before I let you go, I want to share 3 big mistakes I see that are holding people back from this process and creating their own journal or planner of their dreams. The first big mistake that I see is skipping ideation and going straight to Canva and just picking out all these templates like, ooh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. I'll make my own planner. And then you have this Frankenstein planner where the branding doesn't align, the margins don't align, the content doesn't align, the monthly layout's only on one page, which who does that? You know what I mean? It's like made for a 8.5 by 11 printout. You want your monthly spread across 2 pages. You know what I mean? Like that is not the way you want it. So we have this Frankenstein planner, and at first you're excited, but then you're kind of like, this isn't something I'd really want to sell. You know what I mean? And so that's the first big mistake I see is people skipping ideation, going straight into design, creating something they don't love, not knowing what to do, and they give up. So if you've done that, that's okay. The planner that you've started to Frankenstein is kind of like making a prototype, but I would recommend going back to the beginning of ideation and starting with a clean baby. That's what my company I used to work for in New York, my background is advertising and marketing, and they would talk about these technologies where everything was Frankenstein together, and they would talk about our company was a clean baby because it was built from the ground up, like nothing was kind of connected together. Anyway, so it's a clean baby, fresh ideation, not a Frankenstein. The second big mistake I see is everyone wants to do print on demand. And I get it. Oh my gosh, how nice would that be? Someone buys it, It's printed on demand. That company ships it to the customer. Whoop, whoop. I don't have to do anything, and I'm making money in my sleep. It sounds great. It sounds great. I want to do it. If you find a company that has the highest quality, can give me all the bells and whistles I want, including packaging I want, and I get to keep my customer list, let me know. And it's a good price and I can actually make profit, let me know. That has yet to be born. I'll be the first to invest in that company if it is born. But you can't get the high quality that I want, like the linen covers. You can't get the leather covers and the gold corners and even the coil. Like if you print on demand with Amazon, KDP, you can't have coil. They don't allow it. You can't have tabs. You can't have it come in a beautiful box. Mine always have bookmark and a dust bag and stickers and a pin and all the accessories. And the people that come into print school, they want those things too. The third thing I see as a huge mistake when it comes to really creating and then selling your product like a pro is having a really weak launch. I had someone recently talk about they joined print school and they launched their product previously. Now they're going through print school to do it in more high quality and to do a proper launch. And she said, I was just doing hope marketing. Just put it out there and hope people buy it, you know? I thought that was so funny. I was like, who's that agency? And she goes, no, like it was literally, I was just hoping people would buy it. And anyways, we don't want to do that, obviously. I laugh about that, but and we were laughing together, and I hope she's okay that I'm telling her story, but a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people have done that. You just kind of hope people magically find your website, or hope people magically find your Kickstarter campaign, or hope people magically find your new business Instagram or whatever it is that you're selling from. We want to have a powerful launch. We want to have a long hype phase. We want to tease it. We want to drive urgency. And I've talked in multiple episodes previously on how to have a really successful launch, what I've done in my planner launches. And of course, I give those templates to everybody inside of Launch School so that they can have as successful of a campaign as possible. So the three things I really want you to leave with is you really want excellent design. You want to think about the customer journey, create something thoughtful, create something unique. Second thing, you want excellent printing. You want something beautiful and profitable, and that is possible. I highly recommend printing overseas. I know a lot of people ask in the comments, like, share your printer, share your printer. And I do have a video on how to find a good printer where I talk about how to vet a printer, but I don't share my printer with anyone except for print school students, because not only do I share my printer with them, I teach them how to talk to the printer. I help them do the research they need in ideation in order to adequately share exactly what they want with the printer. Because I could give you my printer, but if you don't know what to ask for, you might not even get close to what you were really wanting when it comes to paper quality, materials, like all of it, right? And so I teach you how to work with them, how to do the importing, what to talk about, what that looks like, what that would cost. And we go through that together. I also pay for their sample. So one of the things when you get to that point in print school, I pay $200 for your product to be printed. That's my gift back to you for making it to that step. And then last but not least, the third thing I want to leave you with is you have to have a strong launch to actually sell your thing. You could have a beautiful product, but if no one sees it, no one's gonna buy it. So we talk about how to have a strong launch in Launch School. And if you would like to learn more about my overall method, I call it the Dream Printing Method, you can go to my free workshop next. That's a great next step for you. HoracioPrinting.com/workshop. It's only 45 minutes. I would love to see you there. It's filled with just the timelines, the costs. I think it'll answer a lot more of your questions that you have. And if you have a question that you would like to see me answer on this show, pop it in the comments below. I would love to answer your questions. This channel is a resource for you. And I hope it inspires you to keep going with your dreams. Keep taking the next step. Work on ideation. Start sketching something out. Dream big. You never know what is on the other side of you being obedient to launching your products. If you want to check out what some of our print school students have created, I would love to invite you to check out our alumni page, HoracioPrinting.com/alumni. This is where you can see all sorts of cool things that our print school students have actually launched in the world and are making an impact. And that's one of the most exciting things about this whole journey. It's not just making the profit. That is great and that is important, and it helps the business keep going. It's literally oxygen for a business is profit. But what's really, really special is finally getting the dream out there and seeing people use it. It's a wild journey. And so I want to invite you on that journey, and I'd love to be a helper on your journey, a little guru Sherpa as you go through this journey. And if you're already ready, you're like, I want to do this. I want print school. I want to get her printer. I want to get her templates. I want to learn how to launch it. I'm ready to get started. I want to know how to talk to the printers and know what I'm talking about and feel empowered to have my own printing company. Go ahead and apply. Apply for a spot in print school. HoracioPrinting.com/print school. Everything is there, all the information, bonuses, and I would love to see your application come through and see what you want to create. One of the things on the application is for you to share your clarity statement of what you think you want to make. And so hopefully that application kind of helps you with your ideation. You can start the ideation there in the application, and we'll start a connection over email. So can't wait for that. Have an absolutely wonderful day. You are so loved.